Welcome back, everybody, to Music Talk. I'm Dave,
I'm Mike.
and this week we are checking out the latest from Adele, and that's the album cover.
Yep.
You know, I'm not mad about the album cover. I mean, she always does that to her albums. It's always her on there, right?
Well, what it is if you look at each album,
Yep,
tracking her look
yep, and her
from when
age,
she first started. I mean, she was very overweight when she first started.
right? She was 19 on the first one. You
Yeah,
had 19, 21, 25, and now we're to 30.
all the way at 30. Yep.
Which, she recorded this about a year and a half ago. She's actually like 33 now.
Yep.
So this thing's been sitting around for a while. This is the case, got a hard plastic case, tracking on the back. There's all the songs. It's dark with the white, which I dig. You know, I'm not going to get mad about the cover like I usually do when people put their face, but I mean, that's a pretty face. So why not, right?
Mhm.
It's not as cool as Silk Sonic, but hey.
Uh,
Then you got all the words, and there's different pictures of her in the studio and her singing and kicking back and laughing and having a good time. And here's one here belting it out. So you do have all the words. Then, of course, you got this is the CD. I'm not really sure what that is. Close up of her, maybe. I don't know. A light. I don't know. Whatever. Um, so anyhow,
an overexposure somebody found on their
yeah,
on their phone.
yep. It could be something like that. Look cool. They just stuck it on there. So, I mean, all in all, it's okay. CD. I'm not mad at it. Uh, I don't know. You have anything to say about it right off the bat?
Well, what I got to say is, okay, I'm gonna put it out there right up front.
All
Uh,
right. This is why I like when he drinks beer.
I'm not a big Adele fan,
Right.
but I'm going to put it this way. Uh, I started listening to the album, wasn't too knocked out by it. Started doing a little research. The story behind the way the songs are laid out and the way she wrote these songs.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, she went through a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
Be pretty honest with you. And this is about this is the story of her going through a divorce.
It's almost a daily diary of what
Yep.
she went through.
And it's a letter also to her son Angelo.
Right. Yep.
Mm.
And I mean, as you go through and you read the words and stuff, it definitely makes a more sense of how the record works. Now, first listen to me, there was a few that I really hated on here, honestly. Um, but the more I listened to it, the more it grew on me.
Right.
I'm still not, you know, won over by it by any means, but it's not as bad as it was in the first listen. I'll say that. So,
Well, the one thing I'll say is I wish that they would have brought some backup singers in instead of her doing the backup vocals. She
well,
sounded
that's
like sound like a little child's orchestra.
yeah, and I've got a lot to say about that, honestly.
And
So
two, I'm not crazy about her vocal quality in general. I mean, there is a place for that type of a vocal,
mhm,
but when you're squeaking on the words as you start enunciating, it gets on your nerves after a while. I mean,
yeah,
um, there are vocalists that have that same quality, and I'll put it right out. Bonnie Raitt,
mm,
and I love everything Bonnie Raitt does because it's natural the way she's using it.
yeah,
Uh, and what I heard with this album here, honestly, it grew on me a lot. And I'm going to say I heard a formula right here of pretty much a Motown Marvin Gaye-ish type setup with
yeah,
what's going on. I mean, it's that same thing because of all the talking in the middle of some of the songs. And I wish they hadn't have done that. You know,
yeah,
uh, Marvin Gaye when he did it on his, what you were hearing was a walk down a street, and you were hearing street noise and stuff,
yeah.
people talking and stuff.
Party or a party or something,
Right here, it was a I don't
It
know.
was it was a recorded vocal diary
Right.
is what you're hearing to me. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean we'll go through it real quick. The first song, "Strangers by Nature." This was produced by Ludwig Göransson. I'm not really sure how to pronounce that.
Yeah, to
And the
break it.
thing about it too is these producers basically played all the instruments too.
Yeah, well, that's what I
So
gathered because it's produced by Gary
Greg
Kirsten.
Greg Kirsten, yeah, he's the same guy that did Foo Fighters. Yeah,
Yeah, Max Martin
yeah. There's like six different producers.
and Tabine Jesso Jr.
Yeah, you also got Inflow in
Yeah,
there.
and yeah,
Mhm.
what we're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So Strangers by Nature to me, it was kind of boring, kind of like something that you would hear in a movie, like a movie score. I guess I don't know. Vocals were just kind of to me. I did like the strings. It really, I really didn't grab this song at all. Even all the times of listening, this one never stuck with me. I just couldn't get into this one. Number two, "Easy on Me," clearly the best song on the record, in my opinion. I think uh, her vocals were superb on here.
Yep.
She had some really good runs, and you know how she can do. Um, Basically, it's a song about, they're moving on. Take it easy on me. I tried the best. You know, uh, but the vocals on this thing, I like it when it's just her piano, bass. That's when I think she's at her best.
Right.
You know, so this one to me is definitely my favorite song on the record. "Easy on Me." Then
Yeah.
we
No,
get. Go
I
ahead.
don't.
I'm sorry.
I don't know if I've got a favorite, but talking about that scenario, the one thing that drove me crazy, especially through probably about the first half of the CD album, whatever way you want to call it, none of the songs, other than the real slow ballads, seem to settle in on any kind of a groove.
Right.
You have this groove going, and then all of a sudden you're into this African beat over here. It's like,
Yeah.
and then you had this diatribe of like reading a manuscript or something, and then it's like, no, it was
It was
just
all over. It was all over the place.
all over the map. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's because her emotions was all over the map. Maybe I guess. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, she was definitely putting her heart and soul out there on this for sure. But
That's
I
probably why
think it.
only the producers were playing instruments on it. Probably couldn't figure out, can I really bring in somebody to play music on this?
I know. And I think I'm not, too concerned about them playing everything, but you get that kind of mundane sound when you get one guy doing it all.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just kind of, Third song we get is "My Little Love." Obviously, it's a song about her apologizing to her son for not being there. She's feeling guilty, all that. I hated the little excerpts of the recordings that she did. I couldn't stand that. Um, I felt like the bass and the percussion were all being drowned out in it. Um, I didn't like this one, honestly. I think I would have felt better if this one wasn't on the record. I mean, I know it was her song for her son and she wanted to put it on there, but I really I didn't like it at all. I didn't think it was very good. I mean, I get the feelings that she put in it, but honestly, this one shouldn't have been on the record. I get that she wanted to do it, but I don't know, man. I,
Well, like I say, not a I'm not a big Adele fan, but I've got to say I gotta give her props on on putting her heart out there.
yeah,
I Yeah, I did some reading on what she went through on her breakup. Rolling Stone had a real good article on it, and dealing with that, I get where she's coming from. I mean, my God,
yeah.
I've been through it.
And most people have. Yeah.
I couldn't turn it into money though.
Right, exactly. So then we
But
get
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go
I would
ahead.
say then we get to number 4, and that's "Cry Your Heart Out." And these 3 songs in a row, 2, 3, and 4, they're all done by Greg Kurstin. This one, you were talking about it earlier, and this is it goes on this whole CD that the backups sound like kids. She sounded like like you were saying, a children's choir, but not even that much. It was kind of like a couple of kids,
Right.
singing backups, and it drove me crazy, man. It was kind of annoying to me.
I could
Um,
it's
but
her
this
sing,
song, it had a really good drum sound on it. It's the first song that you actually got a distinct drum sound.
but I could hear her enunciation and the character of her voice
Yeah.
on those backup vocals. And they were putting her through a pitch change, is what they were doing.
Yeah, it's really weird, man.
I wish they hadn't have done that. I
Yeah,
really
me too. Because I would have liked it better with just regular vocal work on the
understand
backups.
on backup vocals. I mean, hell, look at Queen.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mhm.
Freddie Mercury did most of his backup vocal work in the studio.
Yeah. I mean, they were layering 3 different people 4 times. So
Roger Taylor would go in and do his bit, but most of it was Freddie Mercury.
yeah. So that one, I mean, it was okay, but again, the backup vocals were very annoying to me. We get to number 5, and that's "Oh My God." And this one's probably my second favorite on the record.
Yeah, I like this song. Yeah.
Yeah, this one definitely can be on the radio. I think we'll hear this one. This will be a radio song. Um,
Oh my cat.
there's not a lot of dynamics in it. It's kind of the same thing over and over, but it had some catchy runs on it. And I like the way she did that run where it was like I thought she was singing those. I can't sing, obviously. Everybody knows that. We've been through this in previous reviews that Dave's not a singer.
Oh,
Your cat probably sings better than me.
oh
But
well,
I do.
we got one cat been singing here lately.
Yeah. Better
Got
than me.
to get her fixed.
Oh, geez. Yeah, get that done. But yeah, I love that run that she did. It was very catchy. Even the chorus is catchy. So this is a good. I really like this song. This is another Greg Kurstin.
Yeah.
So I dug it. So then we get to number 6 is "Can I Get It?" And this one was done by Max Martin, Shellback, and Carl Schuster. And the whole time, man, I'm thinking this sounds like a Pink song. Reminded me of Pink. And then maybe, little Justin Timberlake or something. And I realized that these are the same producers that have worked with Pink and Justin Timberlake. So it makes sense. Now I
Well,
know why it sounds like that. So
top of the line of the pop field. You
yeah.
know, that's what they are. That's what you're looking at. I
And,
mean, these are producers that are able, just like George Martin,
yeah.
for able to walk in and go, okay, lay your stuff down, and I'm gonna make it pretty in the end.
Yeah.
And that's what he did. You know,
And I
that's
mean, for what it is, I guess it's okay. I wasn't big on it. I didn't really like it that much. I liked the acoustic beginning. I thought that was cool. Then it got real poppy, you know. So, you know, I it's all right. But number 7 is "I Drank Wine," which I like a lot. That was, one of the top 3 on the record for me.
mm-hmm.
Another Greg Kurstin. Seems like all the ones I like were Greg Kurstin so far. I love the piano bass at the beginning. It's got great vocals. Hated the backups. Again, it sounded like the kids are back, right? And then she puts that stupid excerpts in there, them little recordings at the end, which
Well,
if she'd have left that out, the song would have been a higher rating for me.
but the thing is too is like on the I drank wine. Again, I'm going to refer to the interview that Rolling Stone did, and she talked about, she actually got to the point of where she was like, it's just waking up with that angst over, you know,
Yeah, yeah,
she just gave it up. She gave up drinking for a
yeah,
while,
yeah,
because it's like you drink yourself to sleep and you get up and you got the hangover and the problems are still there.
yeah, yeah. There ain't enough wine out there to chase them away.
So yeah, I mean,
And
uh,
that's at the point of this CD is that's where we are in her life at this point where she's like, I got to do something. you
Right.
know, something ain't working here. I got to figure this out because I'm wallowing around in my misery trying to find out where I'm heading, so I'm drinking wine and, you know,
Well, I think we've all been there to a certain degree. I mean,
yep, yep.
everybody runs and grabs a bottle of wine or whiskey or whatever, but
Hmm.
at some form or another, I mean, either you drown in watching videos or whatever it is. I mean, everybody goes through this stuff.
Yeah.
And like, I'll say it again. Um, you know, yeah, it probably took a lot more than the emotions she was dealing with to put the stuff together and have it produced and put on CD.
Yeah. Yep. So now we get to number 8, and it's called All Night Parking. And this was it was taken sample of Errol Gardner song,
Hmm.
which I believe is if I'm not mistaken, is In the Mood for Love, right? Is that his song? And I'm in the mood for love, right? Anyway, I'm not sure. I think it is. That's why I tried to figure out what it was, and I believe that's what it is, but I'm not sure. But it
Okay.
reminds me of an Erica Badu song. I mean, this is totally what Erica Badu would do, you know, the backups, all that stuff, very weird. It sounds like you put on a record, you can hear the record popping, and then she sings over it. So uh, it was okay. I didn't, wasn't one of my favorites for sure. Then we get
Right.
to number 9, A Woman Like Me. I thought it was pretty boring at first. The vocal work was just drab. Had some good drums in it. This is one with inflows doing all the stuff, the producing and everything.
Right.
Um, I don't know. It was boring to me. I mean, I get it. She's trying to explain that it's hard to hold a woman like me. You're gonna have to do a lot of things to keep a woman like me. I get it. That's where we are in the CD in her life. But I wasn't into this song at all. And then number 10, we got another inflow song. And it
Mhm.
starts out the same, kind of like the last one, kind of boring, but then it picks up at the end. This is called Hold On. And she's got some really cool words in here where you can tell that she's really struggling. There's a line in there that says, sometimes loneliness is the only rest we get, and emptiness actually lets us forget. And sometimes forgiveness is easiest in secret. So, I mean, some great words here that she's belting out. And then she had her friends come on and sing all those backups because that's what they used to tell her, just keep holding on. You're going to get through. So that's where, the backups came from there. So now we get to number 11. And to me, 11 is one of the best vocal lines on the whole record. I mean, this one, she belted out. This is what Adele does. Like, Easy on Me, and this one, you give her a piano and you just let her sing her ass off. And that's what she did on this song. This is the one that has that Tobias Gesso on here, or Heso, however you say his name.
Right. Right.
It's called To Be Loved. And I mean, good gracious, man. Now, one thing I had a problem with, but it sounded like some of the mics were clipping. Like she was spelling it out so much that the mics were getting overdriven at points. But I loved it because it had just the feel of her and a piano in a room, and she just gave it her all. I mean,
Yeah.
after this song, I can't imagine it. She probably passed out and cried for a while after singing this song. But
Well, this song too, I think, is derivative of the fact that after her divorce, she hooked up with this other guy. I'm not going to mention his name. Honestly, I can't remember his name right off the top of my head, but and they knew from pretty much everybody around them knew from the beginning it wasn't going to last.
mhm.
So it was like a splash in the pan. And to put a little insight on that, she was talking about how her friends were trying to set her up on blind dates and stuff. And one thing you got to look at, she is a superstar. She is a megastar.
Mhm.
You don't There's no such thing as a blind date with
Right.
her. And
Yeah.
it's like she
Yeah, you're
said,
gonna go out with Adele tonight.
I'm not gonna, yeah, she's like, you're not putting me in that situation where the paparazzi's gonna be out there and I'm gonna walk up and see somebody blindly for the first time.
Yeah.
And you can hear the stories just formulating as you're walking down the sidewalk.
Right. Right. Exactly.
Yeah, and but I think with the fact that she did wind up with another relationship, it opened the door for her to know. And I think that this is like, okay, the awakening. And I got a feeling that her next album, even though again, I can't honestly say I'm an Adele fan, but I believe it should be knocking down the barn doors with the next.
Hopefully. Hopefully she gets out of this period and she gets back onto some of her happiness and starts working with happier people. You
Right.
know, get Bruno back, do a couple songs with him like she did on her last album, because I thought some of those were her better songs.
Uh,
We got one more song on here. It's called Love is a Game. It's kind of a Motown feel about that one. Um, I, it was okay. It was another inflow. Uh, the backups, blah blah blah, same as the rest of the record, kind of stuff. But it had a Motown feel about it, so I kind of dug that a little bit. So this one, she said she kind of had wanted to do like an Amy Winehouse feel. She kind of stayed away from these songs because they were friends, and she knew this was Amy's wheelhouse. You know, so she's like, at this point, who cares? I'm going to go ahead and do one like this. So,
mhm.
which is fine, and I think it's okay. It's just kind of it's not special. It's all right.
Right,
Got
right.
the feel about it, but I don't know, man. I just didn't. I don't know. I don't know about the record. I have four songs on here that I really liked. Um, three songs I really hated, and then there's a few that are just okay. So I mean, a third of the record I thought was great.
Yeah.
She belted it out.
Mhm.
She put her passion in it that I've heard on past records, which is what I know she can do. But
Right.
then there's some on here that are just, you know, a little boring, a little drab, a little mediocre. And then you have those crazy child sounding backups all through the record. And just drove me crazy, man.
Turn off to me.
Yeah,
And
me too. I just didn't understand it. I don't know why. I mean, I don't know.
well, I'll tell you why it's turn off to me. I'm so tired of hearing these. You hear them on commercials. You turn on your popular radio station, and you hear it every time they have a girl song featured on a pop radio station. It sounds like they're going through an emotional breakdown with a little girl's voice.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm so tired of hearing that. It's like I want to hear an adult singing to me. I want to
Right.
hear Bette Midler. I want to hear somebody belting it out that will get in my face and tell me like it is instead of acting like the victim.
And I feel like that's what she did on Easy on Me and To Be Loved. But then
Mhm.
the rest of the record, it was just like, I'm not going to say she mailed it in because she's still a great singer, but there were some songs that were just mediocre on here. And I mean, I know she can do better.
She
And
is. I look at this album like, okay, one, we were in the COVID thing. Two, she went through a nasty divorce during the COVID thing and probably went through a lot of twists and turns, you know, and
I'd say the emotional thing would play better. I'm not giving anybody any more breaks on COVID because I just don't want to hear that no more. Um,
it's
uh,
just,
I
you know,
think emotionally, it was probably more what was happening there, like you
yeah,
were saying. You know,
it's more of a this was an emotional diary is what this was.
it was, and I think it was more, and she did it probably for herself more than anything, and that's fine. I don't
Well,
mind that.
I think it's also for her son when he grows up and he
Yep.
gets older, he can look back on this and this is kind of like a documentary
Mhm.
what his mom was going through. And it's not as I don't think she was using it as an excuse to everything that's been going on. I just
No,
think she's putting this out there on a timestamp to put her emotions at rest. Because, like I say, to be loved, to me, that song number 11, it kind of opened that door back up for her again. I mean, there she was.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
and I
uh,
agree. And I mean, if she could have did more songs like "Easy on Me" and "To Be Loved" on this record, I would have loved it a lot more. But these ones in between, couple filler sounding songs, the little diary things. I didn't, it didn't grab me at all.
Yeah.
So I like Adele. I've always liked Adele. I know you're not a fan of hers, but I have a lot of her stuff in the past that I really love. Um, but this record, man, I'm giving it a 6-7 because that's as high as I can give it. I wanted to give it more because I like her, but I just don't feel like the songs were that good.
Mhm.
There was, I mean, I'm not taking away from the fact that she opened up her heart and gave us raw emotions in her words.
Right.
I'm just saying that a lot of the songs were similar. The same thing was going on in each song. It was just a repetitive, and these backups were driving me insane, man. So anyway,
Yeah.
between the backup vocals and those little spoken interludes, I can't go higher than a 6-7 on it. I mean, I really like two songs. I like about four others, but totally, I would only probably listen to four songs on this record again by choice.
Well,
Um,
just for the manner of the project, number one, the way I think production on the project as a whole was top notch. I mean, um,
Production was good, I will say.
I'm not an Adele fan. There were some songs on here
I
that I
want to I want everybody to know that you finally admitted that you're not a fan of something. I'm
it,
just telling everybody right now, Mike never admits that he's not a fan of something. Even if he don't like it, he never admits he's not a fan of it. So this is the first.
but
It
I
took it took 40 reviews for him to come out and say this. Or
I
either four
I
porters. I'm not sure.
just as a whole, just for the premise of what this whole project was built on, for the fact she was willing to lay her heart out there in the raw in front of everybody to read.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like I say, there are a couple of songs on here that I would not turn the radio off. Believe me.
No.
Um, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna probably give her a 7.
You want to give a 7? All right.
Yeah, just because you know
I mean,
that's
obviously it's going to affect more some people differently than us,
right, right.
you know, and they're
I,
going to have emotional problems listening to this because she's going to tap into some of their stuff, right?
well, look, I'm a boomer.
Yeah, right.
That ought to tell you something right there.
Right, right. You've seen it all.
Yeah,
Uh,
supposedly.
but again, I don't hate the record. I mean, I think the more you listen to it, the more you can pick pieces out that you like. Um, Vocally, I felt like she could have done better. Um,
Yeah, well, the vocal, her vocal approach is one thing that I fight trying to listen to her on. But like I say,
it's
I
got that Greta Van Fleet thing going on.
well, it's like when she goes to do her opening enunciation,
Yeah,
you got squeak going
yeah,
on, whatever you want to call it. That drives me crazy. It's like that's okay to use every once in a while, but when it's your signature,
yeah.
sorry, it's just a vocal effect. It is
I like some of that she does, but you're right, it gets overplayed.
it's not a character.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah,
forced effect, and
yep.
that drives me crazy.
Hmm.
I want to
I
hear the
think
voice.
right. Well, I think the biggest thing on this record that I couldn't get past is the backup vocals, man.
Like that drove me crazy too.
Yeah,
Through whatever they did with her. I know it was her that was doing the backup vocals,
right.
but they used a pitch change or whatever,
Yeah,
and it just made her sound like a little girl's choir
it
or
did.
two or three little girls back there, doing. It's like nanny nanny boo boo,
Yeah, it
you
was
know.
almost like, okay, I want you to do the backups like you're a little brat,
Right,
you know? And
right.
she's like, okay, or something. I don't know. But anyway, we'll wrap it up. Not a bad record, but I mean, I've heard better from Adele. I don't think it's her best at all. Definitely give her credit for throwing her heart out there. There's some very strong vocals in it. I mean, strong lyrics in it. I think she could have brought a better vocal to it. I think sometimes some of the songs I don't know. I just didn't feel it. But anyway, I gave it a 6.7. Mike gave it a 7. Let us know what y'all think. We'll probably get bashed for this one, because everybody loves Adele. Adele's the darling, and we've said some bad stuff about what she did, and whatever.
I'll take the bashing.
Yeah, I take it every time. You never get it. This time you might get it because you actually said something.
Yeah, I got something to back it up with this time.
Yeah.
And Bruce Hornsby,
Oh,
turn,
four porters. Oh,
turn down the lights.
yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. Well, before we start running y'all off with our vocal work, you guys stay safe until next time.
Listen to the music and peace out.